Rabbits, and what should be a good one. Let's go with the Denver Pioneers starters first. Joe Rosga, the Iron Man, plays at guard. He is in the top 5 in their history of scoring. 6'3", 175 from St. Paul. Ade Murkey, 6'5", 200. He's a junior from Minnesota. Donovan Carlisle will also get the start, the sophomore from Indianapolis. Ronnie Harrell Jr. at one wing, 6'7", 200. And Torrey Stewart Miller is hurt, so number 32, Abby Akintola, a senior, will step in to the starting lineup. Your head coach, Rodney Billups, 38-44. He has the Pioneers playing much, much better basketball. Let's get it over to the South Dakota State Jacks, 64-30, and they are absolutely loaded for bear. Once again, they are the cream of the crop in the Summit League. Number 2, Tevin King, 6'2", senior. Alex Arians, a freshman, gets in the lineup at 6'4". David Jenkins Jr., he's on. If the Pioneers can do what Greg says and get this thing rolling, getting off to a good start would certainly help against this basketball team. The last inaction was, in fact, the Jacks. They played at Oral Roberts the other night. Game came down to the wire. The score wasn't as close as it indicated. Working outside, Arians with the basketball now, over to Jenkins. David Jenkins Jr. can really fly. He can get into that lane. Jenkins penetrates, fakes the shot, bounce pass over, going across the way. What a pass inside to Mike Dahm for the bucket.
Yeah, Tevin King, one of the better point guards in the Summit League, just showing what he adds to this team here. Assist, because he's got two guys in Jenkins and Dahm that can score.
Pioneers now trying to counter. Ade Murkey with the basketball over to Rosga. Again, the Pioneers without their big man, Torrey Stewart Miller, is out. Ade Murkey's going to dribble in and then kick it back. That's almost a turnover. 9 seconds remain on the shot clock.
Denver's got to take care of that basketball. You get this late in the year, possessions become so valuable.
Harrell will inbound it. He'll get it out to Ade Murkey. Murkey guarded by Jenkins, dribbles. Now he's going to drive, spin, get it up to go, and he draws the foul. Ade Murkey into the paint, something we haven't seen early.
Well, and this is exactly how this thing needs to start for Denver. He needs to put pressure on the rim. The one Achilles for South Dakota State is they're not very deep. So if you can get a couple guys in foul trouble, get them into that bench, that could play in Denver's favor come later in this game.
Foul number 1 on Tevin King, the 6'2", 200-pound senior. And that was big. That shows that Murkey's going to attack early, Greg, and that's a really good sign.
It is. And stay aggressive.
Joe Rosga picking up pressure, and they break it. Jenkins with the basketball. Jenkins works it up top to Tevin King. Tevin King runs the show here for the Jacks. King bounce pass over to the corner. Arians has the basketball, the only freshman. King to the rack. He's going to be blocked. Great defense by Ade Murkey. Back come the Pioneers. Joe Rosga with the basketball. Ronnie Harrell Jr., he's got it. That one's off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound, Mike Dahm.
That's a good shot, though, in transition for Harrell. 40% shooter from distance. Coach Billups will live with that shot right there.
Jacks into the paint. Kick it back out, and a turnover. Great defense by the Pioneers early. Greg, let's take a look at it, what the Pioneers did well.
Well, Murkey does a great job here of just keeping his hands straight up. And again, that athleticism a little bit too much.
Rosga with the basketball. Tevin King is on him. Pioneers need some movement in their offense. They tend to get stagnant. Outside to Murkey. Murkey's got a look. He's going to stop, pop. That one's going to be off, but he follows his shot. Joey Rosga from the top. That one's going to be short. Don't see that very often. Rebound comes down to Alex Arians. Here they are on the break. Flatten to Arians. Arians scores.
Yeah, Denver can't give up that easy of a basket right there. Transition defensively, something Coach Billups spoke an awful lot about with his Pioneer team.
Pioneers on the attack. Ade Murkey's going to drive, take it in. And what do you say about Ade Murkey taking it in from the wing and scoring off the window?
Well, he's had 3 touches. Twice he has driven the ball, once he's settled. He needs to keep driving, be aggressive.
South Dakota State does that weave. Here's Skyler Flatten. He can shoot the 3. That one's off, no good. Rebound comes to Donovan Carlisle. He'll come the Pios. Good start by the University of Denver. It's going to be an offensive foul on Donovan Carlisle.
Yeah, tell you what, Ade Murkey, again, stay aggressive. Keep driving the basketball right here. You can already see they don't want to foul you.
They don't have enough players to foul.
No, they played 7 in the Oral Roberts game. So, again, that bench, very, very short.
This motion up top, Greg, talk to me about that motion they run.
You know, it's a little bit different than what they did a year ago. And again, when you got so many guys who can score the basketball, space on the floor becomes important.
Ade Murphy misses, but how about it? Donovan Carlisle there to pound it down.
And when you drive the basketball, all of a sudden that rebound gets a lot shorter. Carlisle following up. Great play by the sophomore.
6-4 Pioneers early, playing a good brand of defense. The Jacks now dribble in. Good defense for the Pioneers. Foul's going to be whistled. I don't know if it's on Akintola or Ade Murphy. It's going to go on Murphy.
We talk about easy baskets. I mean, you need to have them. And right here, Denver on the run out. Murphy attacking. And again, when you shoot it that close, no long rebounds. And Carlisle doing a good job.
Good things happen when you're in there.
Yeah, good things happen when you stay aggressive.
16:42. Pioneers on top, 6-4. Glad you're with us on this Sunday. We know it's reserved for football, but when you're a basketball junkie, it's nice to warm up with some hoops.
I like what you had to say. It's an appetizer.
Absolutely. Tevin King, the senior, averages 9 points a game. Kind of runs the show. Second one's up and good. We're tied up at 6. Here come the Pioneers. So far, Ade Murphy has had his way. Got a shorter man on him. If he can use his athletic ability, that would certainly bode well for the Pioneers. Kick it inside into the blocks to Abby Akintola, trying to back down and get a shot with the fake. Gets to go up. But Ade Murphy in and off the window with the tip. Ade came to play.
Yeah, he did. And I wasn't real excited about Akintola trying to back Dom down. However, once again, that ball shot close. Denver able to rebound it.
Boy, Mike Dom makes it look easy. He just overpowers inside.
Yeah, now you get caught with what do you do there? If they're going to continue to get the ball to him on the block, do you bring that double and risk rotation and guys like Jenkins getting off?
Ade Murphy has 6 of the Pioneers' first 8 points, 5:54 to play. You can see how disciplined the South Dakota State team is. They only play 7, maybe 8 players. They play a lot of minutes. Ade's got to be careful with that pass.
I'd see.
The fast-paced first 5 minutes of this game. We have 15:42 left in this first half.
A guy that athletic that gets favorable matchups during the game needs to drive the ball.
The other thing about it is without Torrey Stewart Miller in, they're going to have to find extra offense, whoever supplies it. Murphy with the basketball. Jenkins on him. He's going to stop pop. He follows the shot. Almost got the rebound. Here comes David Jenkins. He's got Arians on his left. Jenkins is going to let it go from 3. That one rattles around. No good. Harrell with the rebound. Back out to Rozga. Pioneers setting up their offense. Ronnie Harrell now with it on the wing. Harrell doesn't get anybody to stop. What a great feed on the side to Abby Akintola.
That's what penetration does right there. South Dakota State had to collapse, and when they did so, Harrell finds the open Akintola.
Very astute, Greg, that you talked about how they don't want to foul because they just don't play that many people. Easy money for Mike Dom.
Yeah, you're going to give up a couple of those. And again, the challenge becomes, do we go double?
Dom's got 4 points. Again, Torrey Stewart Miller, if you just joined us, he is out. Ronnie Harrell to the ring. He's going to get the hoop and the harm. DU is attacking. They see some openings.
There seems to be a real purpose here within Denver's offense. Initially in this game, we've seen Murphy drive it. Now we see Harrell drive it. This is a good recipe for the Pioneers. Is put pressure on South Dakota State. Make them defend.
Ronnie Harrell at the charity stripe. First one is up and good, and it's the only one because it's a three-point play. 13-10, 14:47 to go. The Pioneers have had about a week off. Again, South Dakota State played at Oral Roberts down to the wire the other day. Skyler Flatten with the basketball. He's got some moves and just takes it to the rack. How pretty is that?
Yeah, you got to do a much better job of staying between your man and the basket and not having to help with those secondary defenders.
Jace Townsend has checked into the game for the DU Pioneers. Townsend out of Texas can shoot the basketball. Donovan Carlisle with the wing. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ronnie Harrell dancing around. Gets it to go. That one's going to be rejected by Dahm. Back come the Rabbits. David Jenkins Jr. back up top to Skyler Flatten. Flatten's going to drive. He's going to get the dipsy-do to go. and the Jacks have taken the lead at 14-13.
Yeah, Denver's got an issue here with Carlisle in the game. There's no one for him to defend with both him and Akintola. It'll be interesting to see if they go smaller here, the Pioneers.
See if they can get them running. Just as you say that, Taylor Gatlin's coming to the scores table. Jace Townsend on the floor. He's got Jenkins on him. Dribbles back, gives it to Donovan. Harrell's going to dribble in. Harrell with a great shot. Dom affected that one, though, putting the hand up. Back comes South Dakota State. That one's from three. Off the rim, no good. Tevin King jacked that up. Hey, if you're the Pioneers, you let him have that.
You do. I was just sitting there in amazement watching Dom bring the ball length of the floor and make that pass.
He is a player, and he will have a chance to play in the NBA, and he'll definitely play internationally. Scouts are looking at him. Harrell on the wing, looking to do with the ball. Goes left into the paint, kicks it off to Carlisle. Carlisle for the baseline. That rolls off, no good. Dom with another rebound, out to King. King slows it up to Flatten for three. That one's short. Skyler Flatten just a touch short on that one. Pioneers with the rebound.
Pioneers look tired here. They need to take a little time here off this clock. You got a timeout coming up here below 12 minutes. And I would imagine Gatlin's going to come in and either replace Carlisle or maybe even Akintola.
Joe Rosga here. Looking out to Jace Townsend. Townsend going to put it up. Townsend's a great shooter, but that one's off the rim, no good. Dom is just gobbling up the rebounds, Greg. Good defense by Joe Rosga, David Jenkins Jr.
You're right about Dom. I mean, again, averages a double-double, close to 12 rebounds a game, and we're already seeing what he can do. But Rosga doing a much better job of just staying down. Stay between your man and the basket and force him to shoot over a hand.
22 seconds on the shot clock. 12-17 left to play here in the first half of play. King is checked in, number 23. That's Owen King. So two Kings on the floor. Flatten's going to put it up. Skyler Flatten with another three-pointer, and the lead is 17-13.
It all starts with Dom's shot fake. Get someone up in the air, drives hard. Now you got to rotate. There's the open shooter.
7-0 run by the Jacks. Checking in for the Pioneers is Taylor Gatlin. He will run the point. That means that Joe Rosga will be the shooting guard. Trying to free Rosga up, loses his dribble, off to Akintola. Can't do anything with it. He's guarded by Dom. Shot clock's down to 5. Pioneers are going to have to move. Not a lot of time. Rosga's going to have to put it up. He forces it up, hits the rim, and the Pioneers come down with the board. That's fortunate. Gatlin back to Rosga. He's going to take it in. Dom doesn't want any part of it. How'd you like that left hand?
Well, there's two of the better players in the Summit League going head-to-head right there. And Rosga doing a great job of extending that left hand and keeping Dom out of the play.
Jenkins Jr. looking for an opening. There's going to be a foul. I believe it's going to be on Joe Rosga, number 2. That'll be his first personal foul. Well, before we go to break, we would like to remember a good friend to
Josh Hansen, Ryan Goro. Uh-oh, future Pioneers, it looks like they're bringing along
look
here,
it out. What do you think so far?
Well, I like where Denver is right now. A 2-point game. They're doing a good job of getting back defensively.
Flatten again, he has got it going. That is his third three. You've got to get on that guy.
Yeah, you especially when you're coming out of an inbound play right there. You've got to run him off that three-point line. Skyler
Flatten, he a redshirt senior, so he's got 5 years. He knows how to play this game. Harrell weaves in, can't find an opening. Back up top to a Day Murphy. Fires down to the freshman, and Nzekwezi has got to catch that ball. So Denver trying to go with some size goes with David Nzekwezi.
But what they're able to do now, again, they've got Harrell guarding Jenkins here, which is interesting. Murphy has got Dom.
Look at Dom go up in the air and fight for that basketball. Pioneers doing a great job, but it gets tipped back out to Jenkins. Jenkins with the ball in the corner. He's got Ronnie Harrell on him. That's a mismatch. Back up top to Flatten. Flatten's going to miss this one. Rebound by Day Murphy. Here come the Pioneers. Taylor Gatlin with the basketball. Murphy stops his dribble. The Pioneers looking to create some offense. Jace Townsend tries it. No go. Good defense by the Jacks. 10:06 left in this first half of play. Gatlin's going to let it go. That's an air ball. He forced that.
Yeah, when you take a tough three, all of a sudden you've got to be careful getting back.
Good defensive play on the floor, making South Dakota State scramble. King's going to let it go. That's going to be rebounded by Harrell Jr. Here comes Taylor Gatlin, the freshman out of Texas. Ade Murkey from three. That's going to be an air ball.
That's what South Dakota State talked about during their shoot-around right here. Murkey tends to start getting further and further from the basket as the game goes on.
They're going to whistle Taylor Gatlin for the foul. I believe he's going to check out. Head coach Rodney Billups can't have Joe Rosga on the bench much longer, Greg.
No, he needs his experience in there. Personally, I think what he can do now with Harrell going out is Gatlin is completely capable of guarding Jenkins, although he's out of the game right now.
Yeah, check that. They subbed for Jace Townsend.
I don't like the matchup with Carlisle and Dom.
Dom drives in, kicks it out. Oh, they're going to call a block on this one. That will be on Taylor Gatlin. Could have gone either way. Tough call. Got to call it. It's point blank. It's right there.
Well, first thing is Carlisle's got to stay down on the floor. You can't go for that shot fake right there. Gatlin a little late on the play. And I think whenever the offensive player can kind of get his shoulders by the defensive player.
King with the basketball, dribbling, look for somebody to get the ball to, back out to Flatten. Somebody has to be on him. Flatten is guarded well by Joe Rosga. Ball goes out of bounds. Rosga got physical with him.
Yeah, I'm not certain on that call right there, but there's the difference between when Townsend's in the game as a freshman and Rosga, the senior. Rosga works so hard to stay between him and that basket. That way you don't have to help.
Greg, now you have Nzekwezi in here, who's a freshman. Didn't get a lot of minutes against Fort Wayne. What can he do here? Dom gets the tip in.
Again, who guards who? You've got
foul before the shot on Ade Murkey, but I like Murkey's aggressiveness. It's only a 7-point game. Got to settle down a bit.
Yeah, didn't like the three earlier, but driving the basketball is what he does well, especially when that floor gets open in transition.
Dom has 8 points leading the way. I believe that's the third team foul on South Dakota State. They do not like the foul. Nzekwezi, the big fella. Not a lot of arc on that shot, Greg.
Well, he's 6 of 9 for the year from the three. And where the challenge is right here with Carlisle and Nzekwezi in the game, and that's just what I was getting ready to say, you've got some bad matchups defensively.
Greg, what just happened? How can Nzekwezi keep from that foul? You've got Dom coming at you. That's a veteran move. He gets his arm under Nzekwezi. How could he?
You got to start defending that before it ever happens. When the ball moves, you got to move with it instead of just trailing the play, which you'll see in Nzekwezi. They're going to catch a replay, but that's exactly what happened.
Flatten works for you around that screen. You can't leave. Boy, he doesn't need but a heartbeat.
No, he doesn't. But Carlisle's got to be able to get out there and help off that double a little bit. At least allow Rosga to get himself repositioned.
A steal, a turnover by the Pioneers. Here comes King. Bounce pass in. Reverse layup's going to roll out. Got too fancy. Alex Arians, the freshman, trying to show off a little bit.
Yeah, Denver needs a good possession here. Need to settle down a little bit. Run a little clock. See if you can find Harrell or Rosga for a shot.
I tell you what, Flatten's hit 3 3-pointers. Out to Carlisle. He's going to dribble around. Shot clock's down to 10. Here comes Ade Murkey. Murkey's going to dribble around. Another foul he's going to draw on King. Ade Murkey is drawing fouls on South Dakota State. They don't want that, Greg.
It'll end up being an advantage later on in this game.
There's a good look at Rodney Billups.
Big guys, because the big guy is going to be guarding Flatten. Flatten's way too good from that perimeter. One of the better percentage shooters from three-point distance in the Summit League.
Absolutely. You take a look at it, and it's tough because great bounce pass by Ade Murkey, but Ronnie Harrell couldn't handle it. So great point, Greg, with the fact that you can't go big because the big guys for you cannot guard the quicker players.
Like right now, you got Nzekwezi trying to guard Arians, and it's just, that's tough for the big fella.
Hey, give it to Arians. Break it into this lineup. I mean, you look at the South Dakota State Jacks lineup. You got Tevin King, a senior. Skyler Flatten's a redshirt senior. He's a fifth-year senior. You've got Mike Dom, a senior, and a freshman breaks in.
Yeah, very experienced basketball team for the young freshman to kind of just learn from.
Joey buckets a spot up three. That was created by
the ball screen there is what happened. But and I was kind of looking away there because at the score, Denver needed that basket in the worst way.
Absolutely. Hill drives in. He's going to go high off and a rebound. Nzekwezi providing some board help. 25-21. Joey buckets with the basketball after hitting that three. He's going to drive in. They do not like fouling. They're going to let you shoot that basketball.
Rozga blew a tire back here.
Yeah, he did. It's 5-on-4. Oh, and an and one.
Boy, I tell you what, South Dakota State in transition is so difficult because Dom is a rim runner right there, takes himself right down below the basket, and you've got to get back and get in front of him. Nzekwezi runs back but stands behind him, and you're at his mercy when that happens.
And again, when you're a freshman, staying on the ground is tough when you see a head fake.
It is, and you've got to start defending before the ball gets there. You know, that's a tough thing for young players to understand is you can't defend after a great player catches the ball. Now, you know,
too late.
Too late.
And you know what? In a foul line, over 80%, Greg. So when you foul him, he's going to make you pay every time. Joe Rozga up top looking for some motion. Pioneers still in this ball game, playing well, playing hard. Abby's so limited offensively, he can't shoot the basketball from there. Ronnie Harrell weaves in, trying to get the pass off. 6 seconds into Dom. Akintola's going to try a circus shot, just too far from the basket.
Yeah, he needs to go right at Dom, not away from him.
Look at the ball movement by South Dakota, but a Day Murky all over the floor. You can see the athleticism of Murky.
Great job of the Pioneers getting back there.
Dancing into the lane is Joe Rozga. Had a good shot following away, missed it. Back comes Alex Arians. Skyler Flatten to King, the crossover dribble. He stops up. He's caught off by Joe Rozga. King is in the corner. He gives off to Mike Dom. Dom wheeling and dealing his way in, trying to get closer, getting away with what he can. There's his height, but the Pioneers did a great job.
Yeah, Dom tried to start his move too far away from the basket, and Denver doing a good job of staying down.
Foul on South Dakota, so they're being whistled from fouls. That's their 5th team foul. Take a look at it, Greg.
Yeah, come again. Denver doing a nice job with early movement, and when you have that kind of movement, it creates angles right there. Harrell finding his way to the basket.
Owen King already reached in. And one of the good things, Greg, Matt Detlinger is already in, number 32, Detlinger that is, and they don't like going deep.
Well, and again, now all of a sudden the matchup becomes a little bit more favorable for Denver because Carlisle now has a guy to guard.
Ronnie Harrell had that missed as soon as it left his hand. Jenkins to the rack. It's going to be defense by Joe Rozga. They're going to whistle Rozga for the foul.
A couple things Coach Billups talked about yesterday's practice was the importance of getting back. Denver's slow right here, and you allow a player, boy, I tell you what, as good as Jenkins to get that deep, not a lot you can do. The other thing, too, that they spent a lot of time on was just staying down, not going for shot fakes, in particular by Dom.
And we saw Nzekwezi get caught with that early. Jenkins' first foul shot is up and good. 29-21 in favor of the Jacks. Great minutes for Nzekwezi. Good learning experience for down the line. You can't let this get too far out of shape before halftime, Greg. These next few chances up and down the floor are big.
Yeah, you want to keep it, at least in single digits is where. And I think when you play, games like this, you got to play them in increments of 4 minutes when those TV timeouts come. And right now, I think if Denver at the 4-minute mark can get this thing down to around 6 or 7, they're still in very, very good shape.
Making a concerted effort to get a hold of Rozga. And without Rozga being able to pass the ball, Carlisle didn't even look.
Yeah, he's mad at Murky for moving, but I'm sorry, Donovan, you need to take a look at where your guy's going there.
They're trying to take Rozga out of the game completely, Greg.
Well, and up to this point, they've done a pretty good job. Looks like a walk.
Yep, great job by Joe Rozga. King was trying to drive. Opportune time for the DU veteran. He's going to see a lot of minutes on the floor today.
I can't talk enough about the importance of staying between the guy you're responsible for and the basket. Rozga doing a tremendous job, and that's why that turnover right there was created.
30-21, Jace Townsend's checked into the basketball game for his offense. The freshman from Dallas, Texas. Harrell waiting for ball movement, and there's going to be another foul. I think this is going to be on a Day Murky for an illegal screen.
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, he runs right down there and runs into the guy and makes no attempt to get his feet set. And that's what happens.
4:45 left. The Jacks right now checking in is Detlinger for the Jacks. He's on the floor. He has the basketball up top. Over to Jenkins. Jenkins fakes, looking for the three. Got an open look. That one's good. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Rodney Billups is going to call timeout. He does not want this getting out of hand before halftime. 33-21 after that three by David Jenkins. Part of it, penetration early, Craig. And they have had to change and adjust some things. They've done it well.
As much as this game's physical, it's also mental. And you can't forget what it was you intended to do when you went into this game. You can't let those old habits start creeping in.
12-point lead right now for the Jacks. Rozga was somebody all over him.
Yeah, they went boxing one here. Well, now they're playing man.
Rozga with the basketball. He's going to get some room to drive here. He's going to kick it into Akintola. He's going to fake. Nice job. Got Dom to leave his feet. That was a really nice job.
Well, actually, that was Dentlinger, and that's why.
Dentlinger, okay, there you go. That would be why.
That's why it looked much easier.
Well, you know what? Dom's out right now, so now you make your run. 33-23.
And don't reach.
Jenkins throws all out and rotating that ball over to Flatten. He's going to dribble once, put it up from three. That one no good. Tip back out. And another chance as Detlinger got the basketball on the second chance. Jenkins is going to let go. That rattles around no good. Back comes Rozga. Up ahead to Harrell. Harrell's going to dance in. Give to a Day Murky. A Murky on the reverse. Can't get it. He gets it back out to Ronnie Harrell. Fires up from three. That one no good. A Day Murky hustling off the floor. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but I like the hustle.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, you might not like what he's done offensively or defensively, but don't his hustle right there.
Athletics.
You know you're getting old when you watch that young man in the Highlands Ranch Rec Center's up there, and he was following his dad to the gym, Dan, and Brett, the pride of Highlands Ranch High School. Boy, could he shoot it.
33-23. Flatten with the basketball. He's been almost unstoppable. Jenkins is going to let go from three. He rings the bell from three.
Yeah,
they're on fire right now.
If you're late, it's too late. Right there, Jenkins, just way too good of a shooter.
5 of 12 from three-point land, and that's a big difference because the Pioneers only have 2 3-point shots. They're 2 of 9.
This is danger time for the Pioneers. They need to finish this half out on a positive note.
Great move by a Day Murky. He's going to draw the foul on Jenkins.
Again, Murky getting back to attack in the basket. South Dakota State doesn't want a foul, but Murky made him. There was no choice there.
Love the left hand he came up with.
And he gets to a 2-foot jump stop and gets himself back on balance and then gets himself through the body of Jenkins. Something that Coach Billups used to do as a player. Coach
Billups looking into this one, knowing his team's got to stay close before half here. It's very important if they can get this to 6 points or so, or just keep it from going to 15. King with the basketball up top, working his offense. Back over top to Flatten, going down to the money man, Dom. Dom turns, spins, hits.
Well, Denver tried to get that double down there with Murky, but he was just a little bit too late. And again, the experience of Dom realizing that using that left shoulder and that backboard.
Dom already up to 13 points, a high percentage shot down low. Right now, DU with nobody to handle him. King's all over Rozga. He picks up a screen. Rozga's going to throw it up. That rattles around. Jenkins Jr. with the rebound, and here he comes. The Jacks now up to their speed. Looking for Flatten. Gets Dom down on the baseline. Dom's going to drive in. He's going to put it up. Look for the foul. And they're going to call an offensive charging foul on Mike Dom.
Well, that time Akintola he kept his ground right there, and Dom turns with that left shoulder and goes right through him. Good call by the experienced official, Kelly Pfeiffer, there on the baseline.
I credit Kelly Pfeiffer with making that call. A lot of times that call does not happen.
Hey, Kelly Pfeiffer's a guy that you're going to be watching the Final Four.
Absolutely.
And you are going to see him.
Kelly Pfeiffer, Tim Stewart, Brett Wegenangi are the officials on the floor today.
3 really good ones.
38-25. Harrell brings it in, kicks it back out to Murkey. Murkey's going to drive in, dribble. He's going to be fouled again by David Jenkins. If Jenkins gets in foul trouble in this game, TJ Otzelberger is not happy about this.
Yeah, he's not happy because how do you replace a guy that averages 20 points a game for you? Again, good job by Murkey right there, attacking and making the official make a call.
Well, the one thing that South Dakota State prides himself on is not playing really in-your-face defense because of the foul trouble. And it's the one thing that can keep DU in the game.
You know, sometimes games are like boxing matches. You know, if you're Denver, you're just, you're taking some punches and you're just trying to wear an opponent out. And in this case, fouls against South Dakota State. See if you can get a few of those guys sitting over there on the bench.
Ade Murkey's got 2 fouls. He's going to come out. He's had a solid first half. Checking in is Taylor Gatlin. Team fouls. 8 by South Dakota State, 9 by the Pioneers. $1:32 left in this first half. Mike Dahm with the basketball. Skyler Flatten knifes to the bucket, gets it to go.
Yeah, Harrell got caught on the wrong side there coming off that screen. He's got to get underneath and not go over top and trail.
Flatten has been outstanding. He's got 15. Dahm has 13. That's 28 of their 40 points. Jace Townsend with a jumper. He's not going to miss that much. Get used to watching this kid.
Yeah, well, get used to watching both Gatlin and Townsend. Just 2 freshmen. Future's bright for the Pioneers in the backcourt.
40-29. King with the basketball. He's going to force this one up, and it's nothing but the bottom of the net. 42-29. 53 seconds to play. Pioneers need a bucket. DU is not playing bad basketball. South Dakota State is that good. Townsend's going to stop, pop, got it. Jace Townsend, back-to-back buckets, makes it a 42-31 game. It's an 11-point lead for the Jacks.
Yeah, Townsend saw that first one go in, and all of a sudden the second one got easier.
Hill with the basketball for South Dakota State. They may let this run down. Shot clock and game clock are both the same. Going for the last shot. Wouldn't be surprised to see him drive it in and dump it off to Dahm.
Yeah, Denver's got to do a better job here. Just staying back. In other words, don't get out, let him go by you in forced rotation.
Gatlin on Hill, tough defense. They're going to go down to Gatlin, to Akintola. That's going to be a charge again. A second charge on Mike Dahm. That's going to be their 9th foul, and the Pioneers are going to get the last shot.
Akintola did such a great job of just, again, holding his position, and that left shoulder of Dahm gets square into Akintola's chest. Denver in a good position right here. Maybe they can find a basket here before the half.
Listen, Greg, that may not big in the moment, but it may be big later down the line. Taylor Gatlin's going to let it go right off the front of the rim, no good. So that's it. The first half come to an end, 42-31. Skyler Flatten has been the story for South Dakota. Performance for life. Welcome back to Magnus Arena. South Dakota State with a 42-31 lead. DU with the ball first. The Pioneers, when trailing at half, are 1-15, 1-6 in summit play. They go inside immediately, trying to create for Rozga. That's going to be an air ball. Akintola's going to save it inbounds right to Flatten. Tried to get something for him.
Yeah, not very often you see Rozga shoot an air ball.
Another 3 from the corner, and that's not what you want to see. Alex Arians comes in and pops 45-31.
That all started with King's penetration right there, and the defense collapsed, and you leave shooters on the perimeter.
Pioneers need to get the offense going. The Jacks work very quick on the offensive side of the ball. It takes DU a little longer to score. That's what making coming back tough. Great move by Carlisle with the finger roll.
Well, that's the other side of it. I've talked about the match defensively, but then offensively, you got to take advantage if you are going to play big guys. Right there, Carlisle doing a nice job of getting himself to the basket.
Dom's going to get somebody off their feet. Flatten's got a wide open NBA three, and that would have been 4-point range. He is looking like a men among boys, and he should.
Yeah, there's the difficulty of playing against South Dakota State right there, is when the center can create penetrating pitch plays. I don't know what you do.
15-point lead is the biggest of the game for South Dakota State. Flatten has it going. I want to ask you about him in a moment, Greg. Ronnie Harrell Jr. dribbling around, looking DU, trying to get into their offense. Ade Murphy takes it in. Contact, but no foul call. Back the other way comes the freshman Alex Arians. Kicks over into the corner to King. King dribbles in on Rozga. Bounce pass over. Carlisle on defense. King back out to Dom. Now an open three by King in the corner. That one off the front of the rim, no good. Pioneers with the rebound. Here comes Rozga.
You know, King is not necessarily a great shooter, but he's a great point guard. And what I mean by that is his assist, his ability to defend, and all the other things that he brings to this Jack team.
Carlisle put up a three-point shot, probably out of his range a little bit, but the Pioneers get it back. They want to get back into this game quickly, but you got to have good shots.
Yeah, they got to be careful of trying to play at South Dakota State's tempo. South Dakota State averages 85 points a game. Denver needs to slow down a little bit.
Ronnie Harrell dribbles around, gets his shot to go. Greg, if you can for a moment, talk about the fact of Skyler Flatten being a fifth-year senior. What does that bring?
Well, again, it brings maturity, first of all, and experience. And in my coaching career, I don't think I've ever seen a fifth-year guy not have a great senior year.
King to the basket, got in deep, gets it to go. 50-35 to the half-century mark already.
So we were talking about Krafka for Denver, you know, sitting out this year and how much that will benefit him here in a couple years.
Big high IQ for Jake Krafka. He's your power forward. There's going to be another foul whistled on South Dakota. This one's going on Skyler Flatten.
Yeah, that play right there, Flatten.
That's his second.
Yeah, he tried to kind of guess where Harrell was going, but didn't get there quick enough.
Greg, when you look at that, and I watched their game against Oral Roberts, the Jacks do not get in foul trouble. Is the Pioneers' best chance getting them in foul trouble?
Well, it is, because again, you'd like to see some of these talented players go have a seat for a little bit.
Rozga, strong move, kicks it back out to Harrell. Gets a man off his feet. Harrell back outside to Jace Townsend. He fakes the three behind his back. Gonna let it go. Got it. Smooth like butter on a roll.
Yeah, and this is a good lineup for Denver here, I think, against, in particular in this game, where all of a sudden you got Murphy at that 4 spot over there guarding Flatten.
Jace Townsend, the freshman from Dallas, Texas, can get it done. He is a shooter already. These freshmen next year are going to really have a growth spurt. Flatten outside. He's going to take it inside. The long arms. There's nothing much you can do about that.
Well, there isn't, except you've got to work harder. We've watched Rozga guarding the basketball in the effort that he's put into that. Murky right there, he kind of gets lulled by that shot fake, and then all of a sudden he loses a little bit of position.
Skyler Flatten's got 20 points already. That's your redshirt senior, and just a mental mistake, not focusing on. They don't need any help like that.
No, you know, Denver 5 turnovers in the first half, and you don't have to play perfect against South Dakota State, but you better take care of that basketball and you better be efficient.
52-37. You look at the score and you wonder what's going on. The Pioneers have done a lot of great things in this basketball game. Dom into the paint. He's going to get the bucket to go and the foul. One of the most difficult guards there is. And, Greg, when you look at him, look at the length of his arms.
Yeah, he's only 6'9", 6'10", but then those arms are like Spider-Man.
No disrespect to Ronnie Harrell Jr. He's in the top 10 on the list, but he's by himself. And this season, teams have taken easy shots away from Joe Rozga. He has to work every single time. Dom, an 81% foul shooter, missed that one. He's got 15. 54-37. Pioneers need a bucket. Townsend on the wing picks up a screen across, and that was telegraphed, and here comes King. Cruising in and throwing it down, and he's going to get the hoop in the arm as Ronnie Harrell Jr. got him from behind. That's some serious hops.
Hello. Be careful what you wish for. Harrell going to time that one up? I don't think so. Point guard from Chicago. Are you kidding me? Look out below.
If there's a moral to the story, a point guard from Chicago can get up. And Ronnie did the best he could. That wasn't a flagrant foul. He just tried to play. He actually got more contact from King.
Yeah, King is kind of one of those quiet guys. He doesn't look to score a lot, but it's his leadership and his ability just to do a lot of different things.
King's on his average, and there you see the future. Jace Townsend is going to be a player for the University of Denver.
What Townsend's got to get better at is defensively. He's a good offensive player. And again, there's that athleticism driving right at Akintola.
He just flies into the lane and just took off. Let's take a look at this last dunk, Greg, and talk about this play.
Well, Harrell's, again, he's thinking he's going to be able to get him at the rim, but just that athleticism and explosiveness and running through a passing lane, you got to check your passes, but transition.
Yeah, that pass was telegraphed. They knew it all along, but at that point, you let him show off because you're just giving him an extra point. You're not going to catch him. 59-40, and this will make it a 20-point cushion that goes that quick with South Dakota State. You're getting a real eyeful of a team that will likely play in the NCAA tournament.
You know, I don't know. Chicago has had it's had a lot of guards over the years, and when I was at UTEP, we had a couple of them.
Harrell into the lane, dips back off. That one's going to be rejected by Dom. Great play by the Pioneers, but an even a better one by Dom. They're just having a blast.
They are, and finish my story. You'd go up there and watch the park in the summertime, and you'd see guys like King. We had a guy by the name of Tim Hardaway that wasn't too bad, and I watched him and Michael Jordan one time go at it head-to-head in the summer, in the heat, and boy, what a fun time that was.
I'll tell you what, the DU Pioneers are seeing some basketball today. Ronnie Harrell dribbled behind the back. I believe he's going to be whistled for the foul. That might be Jenkins' third personal foul. That's his third.
Well, that's the best way to try to defend offensive players is make them guard on the other end and put them in a position where they foul and now they have to go take a seat.
You know, you look at a 60-40 game, Greg, and you're going, God, you must be playing awful. They're not. They're not. They're playing a very good basketball team. It's a learning curve. Yes, they've made some mistakes.
They have. South Dakota State is just so difficult to defend, and it starts with that center and Dom because of his ability to go anywhere on the floor. When you don't check your passes, this is what happens.
Yeah, and let's be honest. That was a horrible pass.
Not even looking where you're going
No,
with it.
Flatten goes up and jams it down, and right now Skyler Flatten is the leader in the clubhouse, is the Honey Smoked player of the game. He's a fifth-year senior. There's nothing he hasn't seen. Nothing. 62-40 is a 22-point game. Gatlin with the rainbow. That one's going to be off. Dom's going to scoop it up and go. On the break, out to Flatten. He's going to let it go again, and Skyler Flatten's just got it going. It's target practice right now. The lead has just got up to 25 points, 65-40, as Skyler Flatten hits yet again.
What I want to see out of the team is I want to see their body language change. I want to see those hustle plays that we saw Murky earlier in that first half, diving after loose balls. Play with some aggression. Play harder.
The one thing you can't control if the ball goes in all the time, but you can control your effort. Nzekwezi back up top, over to Jace Townsend. Townsend to Nzekwezi. Couple freshmen on the floor. Matter of fact, 3 freshmen on the floor, 4 freshmen. Alp Kernaz has jumped in. And how about Jace Townsend putting on a shooting clinic?
It's an interesting note. I mean, he made his first shot of the game, and then how that just continues, especially for young guys.
He's got 12 right now. He's got 12 at this point. 65-43. Dom from way outside. If he doesn't kill you inside, he's going to get you outside.
Yeah, and there's just what I was talking about with Dom. They've got Nzekwezi on him. Nzekwezi's okay with him, if he's close to the basket, but then all of a sudden Dom goes outside. Nzekwezi just can't guard in space.
Alp back out to Rozga. Rozga has not had room to breathe. Townsend's going to wiggle in, get it back outside to Nzekwezi. Gets Dom off his feet. Nice job by the freshman.
And that's the potential of Nzekwezi right there, doing a good job with the shot fake, taking a dribble, getting a little bit closer, and he's a very capable shooter.
Rabbits staying with their thing. King taking it in, and that one's going to be picked off. He left his feet. Great job by Gatlin. Gatlin's running the break, comes up and draws a foul. That'll be on, I think that's Skyler Flatten with the foul. All right, it's time for a break. 68-45, 11:56 to play on this Super Bowl Sunday. Flatten has been the man. Down a little bit this year, but when South Dakota State goes into that tournament, they're always a 15 or a 16 seed. It would be nice to see them a little higher because they play such a great brand of basketball, and the Summit League doesn't get the respect to get a higher seed. Well, this year they may not need, they may not have earned it.
No, you bring up a really good point because the Summit has suffered as far as, it's not called the RPI anymore. There's another name given to it, an index, and they're not real high. So I think it's going to be really difficult for South Dakota State to get into that 13-14. But I'm telling you want to play this?
No. They're a team, and they're very well coached. Let's give it up. I mean, T.J. Otzelberger is a heck of a basketball coach.
I think he's done a really, really good job with their motion and really taking advantage of the strengths of each and every one of these players.
How about the great defense by Alp Kernatz, the freshman from Istanbul, Turkey. Townsend, heat check. That one's going to be off. Can't blame him for that one. Dom with another board. He scoops it up. King with the basketball. Flat and wide open. Got it. That thing is this big right now.
Yeah, and there's your matchup once again. You got Kernaz out there on the floor, both him and Nzekwezi, but who do they defend? I mean, you can put one guy on Dom, but those other four players are going to get out around that three-point line.
Flatten is a one-man wrecking crew. He is now 11 of 15 overall, 6 of 10 from 3.
Kernaz is responsible here for Flatten, and Kernaz runs underneath the basket thinking, okay, this is where my guy normally lines up, and Flatten just knocks it down.
Pioneers to the foul line at 71-47. Townsend, what a bright spot for him. 12 points. His career high is 16. And that came in the first game of the year against Maine. He's playing a lot better competition right now, but boy, what a bright future this kid has. 71-49. Skyler Flatten has been worth the price of admission.
Look how they're all spread out. There's not anyone in the paint. Look how far South Dakota says. You've got a guard in space here. Now all of a sudden here comes a dribble penetration, pitch, and probably doesn't make that one, but a good shot for Jenkins, who's about a 50% shooter from there.
So they're working off one of the best things, Greg, from what I'm understanding for the viewers out there. One of the reasons they're so good with that motion up top, they find that crease. Once they get in, they kick it out to wide open shooters.
Well, most teams have, a big guy kind of hanging out at the basket. So you've got another defender down there. So when there is penetration, you're running into others. With South Dakota State, they just get you spread out. Much like Golden State plays, as they get you so spread out.
Hard to defend.
It's very, very hard to guard, but in particular when you've got very skilled guys.
Alp Kernatz into the game. Right now on the floor, you have 4 freshmen and a senior. Alp Kernatz into the blocks. He's going to kick it back out to Townsend, back to Kernatz. Kernatz is going to go up. There's going to be a foul on Mike Dom.
The other thing, too, at this level, it's just so rare to find a guy like Mike Dom that can give you that much spacing in your offense. I mean, that probably won't happen again.
Hey, download Altitude Now's new streaming app, Altitude Now. Stream your DU Pioneers live from anywhere with your iPhone or Android. Visit altitudenow.com for more information. Never miss a game. Download the app today. You can watch Nuggets, Avs. Listen, I got my son watching from Arizona. You can watch all over. It's great stuff. I went trick-or-treating, watched it with my daughter.
Tell you what, you're talking about the Nuggets. What about that win they had last night? I mean, coming back off that Houston game and going up to Minnesota, and that's a gut check right there.
Very good basketball team, and they're young. They went through their growing pains. Much like DU, you're playing a lot of young kids. Wait for a couple years. Pioneers 12 of 13 from the free throw line. Here comes King. Townsend forces him down to the baseline. Stepped on the inline, and they call that a foul. on Townsend? No.
No.
Stepped on the inline.
Yeah, King thought he got pushed, but he got a little too deep there. And
10-12 to play. Several Jacks are playing with 3 fouls, but they also have a 21-point lead. DU's got to get to work. Elvin Rodriguez has checked into the game for the Pioneers. A lot of basketball skills, still learning the offense. Ade Murphy's going to dribble in, kick out to the side. Nice three-pointer, but a little bit short by Townsend. Mike Dahm with the rebound, and here comes David Jenkins Jr. Jenkins inside, and Townsend flashing in there with a good defensive play.
Yeah, great play by Townsend there, and that's what Denver needs to see more of, the freshman, is you're in transition, and you've got to find people. They're not going to be just standing there looking for you. You got to go find them. Townsend seeing that there was an open guy underneath the basket, making a good defensive play.
Dahm from way outside. He just makes it look so easy. He now has 21 points, 11 rebounds. The lead has ballooned up to 74-50.
Yeah, just about his average, huh?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The freshmen are getting a lesson. They're learning how to play basketball. Ronnie Harrell Jr. with a very smooth turnaround jumper.
Here's what I would say about Mike Dahm. I've watched this kid come in here for 4 years. He's gotten better every year. And that would be my challenge to any freshman. Can you continue to improve? And that's what Mike Dahm has done.
Does he have a chance at the NBA, Greg?
I think the question, again, it gets back to who he can guard. As we see Murphy there.
Let's take a look at Ronnie Harrell Jr., the transfer from Creighton, and has done a good job for the Pioneers, and this is as good as it gets.
It really is, and he's demonstrating why he's also one of the better players in this Summit wing. The thing that I love about Harrell is he has the ability to play 4 or 5 positions. I mean, his length allows him to guard anyone, and offensively he can go out there and knock down shots.
Going to try it again from 3. That one's going to be an air ball, but Ade Murphy there. He's going to pull it back out. Here comes Elvin Rodriguez into the paint. There's going to be a foul whistled. Let's see who it's on. That's going to go on 34, I believe, Alex Arians, the freshman.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
Knifing through.
That's what he likes to do also, is just get in there and penetrate and get amongst the trees.
Kid from Harlem, New York. Gets it done. A free throw off, no good. He's got all the moves and all the speed. Still learning to develop his game, Greg.
Again, another young player that just needs to understand how he can influence his team other than on. You know, I think he's just done such a good job. He's kind of growing with this team a little bit. And so I was saying earlier offensively, I really love what they're doing with their motion and in spacing.
Second free throw by Rodriguez is up and good, 74-53. You know, one thing I noticed about Dom, he has taken some weight off. He's gotten in better shape. He's lean. He's very lean. Boy,
isn't that a great point? That body has changed, hasn't it?
I think he's got big aspirations. I don't know if he's quite got it, but he might. Flatten's got it. I'll tell you that. You might as well throw it up and throw it in. I mean, this guy is just all over the place. He's got 31. He is 7'11". He's 7'11". He's open all the time. 7 of 11 from 3.
And that's what Jenkins and Dahm can do to you. You get so concentrated on them that it leaves a guy like Flatten wide open.
Well, that's the thing. When you take a look at their starting 5, Greg, you've got David Jenkins Jr., who really has not been that much of a factor today. And matter of fact, he only has 8 points. I think his assignment was to make life a living hell for Joe Rosga.
And he did that. Look at Rosga's numbers.
Yeah, he has. It's not a Joe Rosga game. Got too fancy with the basketball. Here comes Flatten again. Elvin Rodriguez got up to him and did the best he could. That's all you can do in that situation.
Yeah, when you turn the basketball over, that's what happens.
Well, it's going to be the freshman 5 when we come back, because it's time to bring the freshmen in for some experience. 77-50. Career high for Skyler Flatten today. His previous career high was 29. He has obliterated that already at 31. 7 of 11 from 3. Flatten stepped on the line. Tell you, and you get a good look right there at Kelly Pfeiffer, one of your officials. Greg, I don't say this a lot. What a great official Kelly Pfeiffer is.
One of the up and coming, without question.
David Nzequinze all freshmen on the floor with the exception of Joe Rozga. Alp Kernatz from Istanbul, Turkey, and now Elvin Rodriguez trying to get some space. Rodriguez is quick. Boy, Rozga's had a tough day. Nzekwezi's going to let it go from three. He's got it. Big man's got a touch.
Yeah, as long as he can kind of stand there and appears to be very, very confident from that spot on the floor.
Joe Rozga is 2 of 8, 1 of 4 from 3, 1 rebound. He just hasn't done much. Another three-pointer, this time Jenkins Jr. with the bucket.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about Rodriguez earlier on. He drives and it's a little bit going too fast.
But still has to settle down and slow down the game.
Right here, you got to get up in Jenkins' face. You can't let him have that much room.
This one's going to be called on 32. That's going to be Matt Detlinger that gets the foul. He's in for Mike Dahm, who's getting a breather. And they just don't go. The one thing that TJ has, and we talked to him about this, head coach Rodney Billups, Greg, had to figure out his lineup with all the injuries going on. TJ knew his lineup coming into conference play. Makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, they've remained healthy, and that that's a large part of it for any team. Is can you keep guys or have a consistent lineup out there, and South Dakota State's been able to do that. You look at Nzekwezi, and again, I get back to Mike Dahm. We've talked an awful lot about him here this afternoon, but you brought it up. I mean, how much he's changed his body in the last, 3 years, and that's going to be the challenge for Nzekwezi. We've seen his offensive skill, but he's going to have to become a better athlete than what he is right now.
He's going to have to hit the weight room a little bit. And now he has lost 20 pounds since he got on campus.
I think he'll work at it, and that's...
He's got 10 points. He's 3 of 3 from the field. He's 2 of 2 from the foul line. It's going to be whistled on Rodriguez.
But you can live with that right there.
Yep.
Right there,
it's
Rodriguez
aggressive.
is getting into Jenkins. Jenkins made a 3 earlier on Rodriguez over there on the left side and missed one in front of us here. But that time he's getting up and getting into him. But he's got to get off of him right here and offer some help there on the backside. He's competing.
Greg, when I watch Mike Dahm, look, what a great move there. But Alp Kernatz with the rebound. But look at how long his arms are. When you look at Dahm, they almost go down to the bottom of his shorts. And what that does for somebody that's 6'9", when you're into the lane with that extra arm length, there's so many more things you can do. The scouts were saying he's not an NBA player early. Boy, he's starting to change my thinking.
Well, the one thing for certain is on the offensive end, you're going to have to stand next to him. So if you put him, 20 feet away from the basket, that just creates more space for the other 4 guys. You can't leave that guy alone.
Well,
he's going to make shots. Right. He's going to make shots. So he creates spacing. The challenge will be, who does he guard at that level? And can he become a good defender? And if he can do so, then, yeah, I think he's got a shot. But
well, here's a newsflash for you, Greg. There's a lot of guys in the NBA who can't play defense. And that's fact.
But as it gets towards playoff time.
Right, no, your point taken.
Yeah.
But he's impressed me so much. It won't be from lack of effort that he won't know how to play defense.
I had an opportunity before the game, and I just wanted to go up and tell him how much I've enjoyed watching him play. And develop. Because I know he's put an awful lot of time into his craft.
Absolutely. The last time the DU played South Dakota State, I think they were within 10 or 11 points. Flatten is just, those days sometimes you feel it and it's going. He does it again. He's 8 of 12 from 3. He's got 34 points. And now he's got another steal. He's going in for a Showtime slam, but he lays it in. He now has 36.
Yeah, I think he's figured out that Denver likes to start that offense with a little guard-to-guard pass because he's ran through that passing lane I don't know how many times today.
And the fifth-year senior, the number of games that he's played really add up in the experience level. Defensively, Let's take a look at Flatten. It's just been all over the place, and he's going to be on my player of the game for sure. Just anticipation, playing in the middle.
Yeah, we've seen Carlisle turn it over there a couple times from that position. There you see Nzekwezi, and again, South Dakota State's gotten Denver on tape, and they know what's getting ready to happen when that ball hits the high post area, and they've guessed right several times today.
And again, not harping on it, but you're looking on the floor now, and everybody on that floor is 18 years old with the exception of Joe Rosgan. You're playing against a guy that's 23. Hey, it is what it is.
It's a huge difference. That's why, you even take it one step further, and you look at a team like Duke with those freshmen, and as talented as they are, they'll still have their challenges come the NCAA tournament because of experience.
Yep. And I will say, freshmen at the mid-major level, whole lot of difference than at the freshman at a Big Five. Flatten has been on fire. He's got Rosga on him. It really hasn't mattered who's been on him. Dom's going to fire it up from three again. That one's going to be off no good. He's got a nice shot and follow through. Rodriguez with the basketball, 4:57 to play. It's academic except for the score. Now is the time to get minutes and improve. Alp Kernetz over to Rodriguez. Now to Nzekwezi. He's yet to miss from the field. Rodriguez is going to step back, fire up the three, and he's got it.
I like Nzekwezi's play right there. He was trying to get Rodriguez to get further away because the guy guarding Rodriguez was trying to help in on Nzekwezi. And Rodriguez has got to learn, the further I get away, maybe I got a chance to shoot it.
Greg, Rodriguez is a kid. You see Dom put it up from three again. That one's going to rim out. Rodriguez, he's got so many basketball skills, but he wasn't coached much when he was young in the team concept. Nzekwezi gets it to crawl in. He stays perfect. Great job, and no quit in the Pioneers.
Yeah, this is what you wanted to see out of Denver. You wanted to see that body language stay positive, and it has. And right there, Aaron's just too small for the big fella.
That's freshman on freshman right there. The only freshman. DU is on a 7-0 run, so there's no quit in the Pioneers. 4:10 to go, 85-67. Nzekwezi will step to the foul line. He is perfect on the day from the foul line and from the field. He stays that way. 14 points.
You talk about point guard play, and with King, you realize, he's only shot 32 threes this year, King has. But he influences the game in so many other ways.
Look at inside to Dom, and he knows so high off the backboard with just a fluffy touch.
Yeah, he missed a couple threes, and what does he do? He takes you right down in that paint area and goes to work.
Gatlin with the basketball now over to Nzekwezi. Baseline jumper. He's got it going again.
Yeah, no, there's a perfect example. There's about 6 NBA scouts here today, and that's the play they're concerned with right there. Can he get up on that shooter
and defend it
and not let that guy go by him?
Now, does that have to do with the fact that there's a 17-point lead, or regardless he should be there?
That's a great question.
Dom with the finger roll and count it. Gets the hoop and the harm. But going back to that, Greg.
That's what keeps those 6 NBA scouts right here, is watching the play of Mike Dom.
Disrespect for DU on this because they do have a lot of freshmen. There's nobody on the floor that can guard him.
Again, you get so concentrated on Dom and Jenkins that you forget that they got other guys, and Flatten's taking advantage of that today.
We've seen most every team in this conference. To me, they are far and away above everybody else.
Yeah, it's not even close.
I mean, for them to lose in the tournament would be such a major upset. There's a shooter. Boy, does Jace Townsend got a shot, doesn't he?
You know, he played for a high school coach, Paul Graham. Paul Graham comes from the Eddie Sutton tree of coaching, the Hank Iba tree of coaching, and so that guy has been well schooled along the way.
Townsend has just had his career high. It was 16 early in the year. His career high is now 17. For DU fans, you're getting a good look at freshmen. There's the entire floor is freshmen. All freshmen on the floor. Dom's going to tip that in. He's just padding his stats now.
You know, if you're Coach Billups and staff, you're looking for nuggets. You're looking for some things that you can
build on.
Yeah, build on. And right there, Kernaz did a really, really good job of guarding his guy.
Good feed inside. Nzekwezi's going to go to the rack. Oh! First miss of the night for Nzekwezi. But does it go as a missed field goal there? He gets fouled on it, so.
It does.
His first miss.
It does. And, you know, he's made a couple really nice plays here. Is that little 15-footer on the baseline?
Drawing
Dom and
contact.
Right there, he goes inside, mixes it up with Dom. And remember, just a freshman.
Just tied his career high with 17 points.
I don't think that goes as a missed field goal or foul.
Second one's up and good by Nzekwezi, career high.
South Dakota State having a chance to kind of empty their bench a little bit here too.
King with the basketball. Alp guarding him, got a hand in the face, made a difference. Rebound comes out to Rodriguez. He's pushing the pace over to Taylor Gatlin. That ball's going to be kicked.
I like the pace that Gatlin plays with right there. He brings it down, gets that ball below the free throw line, a place I like to see if you're going to deliver it into the post area there.
He's going to be your best defender. We've already seen that. And Joseph Lanzi, who's injured now.
Yeah, we forget about Lanzi, and we forget about Krafka sitting over there too. Krafka, with that red shirt year, I think you can expect big things out of him too in a year.
We don't talk enough about that. Jake Krafka was coming in. There he is, your power forward. High basketball IQ, plays with an edge, and they lost him for the year. Rodriguez from three, got it.
You know, and we've talked about the mismatch that has been created today trying to guard South Dakota State. Krafka's that guy that would have been able to go on the floor and do a little bit better job in space and then having to have, Aventola and Nzekwezi on the floor at the same time.
And I did want to correct myself on something. I thought I might be correct. That foul on Nzekwezi, when he missed that shot, that does not go down as a field goal miss because he had foul shots on top of it. So he is still perfect from the floor. It does not go as a field goal. 92-78, under a minute to play here. It's all over, but getting on the bus. But some good things here from the DU freshman. Everybody on the floor is a freshman. 92-78. The Pioneers have done some good things. Drew Joyner, actually, let me check that. A junior's on the floor. He was a walk-on. It's nice to see Drew Joyner get some minutes. Classy move by head coach Rodney Billups.
Yeah, Drew there, I tell you what, he works as hard as anyone in practice and always brings a very, very good attitude and cheers his teammates, and that's not always to do. It speaks to the unselfishness of that young man.
Nzekwezi from the foul line stays perfect. He's had himself a nice day, but you're getting a glimpse of the future of the Pioneers. And they've done a good job of hanging in here. All of a sudden you make this, it's a 12-point game. It's respectable. Doesn't count for anything, but it's respectable.
Well, you said at the 10-minute mark, what does Denver need to do? And we talked about, just the body language. Again, continue to play aggressive, continue to play with a purpose, and they've done that. And that's, again, something that you look for some positives to go put on tape, and I'm sure Coach Billups and his staff will point towards that.
Detlinger with the basketball outside. They're just moving it. There's guys on the floor now for South Dakota State that normally don't see it. Jenkins Jr. is going to let it fly from three, no good. Nzekwezi with the board. The Pioneers can make this a 10-point game. Rodriguez with the rock. He's going to dribble in. That's a sweet move. Followed up. How about Nzekwezi? Stays perfect. 92-82. What an effort by the Pioneers, but you got to tip your fedora. Sometimes the other team is just better. They played a brilliant basketball game, South Dakota State did.